I've been using this for a while now, so I figured I would share some thoughts. This is a small, portable propane grill made for people who actually move their cooking around. Camping, tailgates, small patios, quick weeknight grilling out back, or even just keeping something compact in the garage that is easy to pull out. I have used plenty of little grills that feel flimsy or cook unevenly, and this one caught my attention because it is infrared, and because the whole thing is built like it expects to be carried around. What makes it different, in day-to-day use, is how fast it gets hot and how steady the heat feels once it is going. Infrared grilling can sound like a buzzword, but in practice, what I notice is that the cooking area comes up to temperature quickly, and it recovers faster after I put cold food on the grate. That matters when I am cooking burgers for a few people, or when I am trying to get a good sear on a steak without waiting forever between batches. Build quality is one of the first things I noticed when I started handling it regularly. The body is stainless steel, and it feels solid when I pick it up. The lid has a firm feel when I open and close it, and it does not feel like it is going to twist or rack when you move it. There is a handle up front that makes it easy to carry, and there are side handles that I end up using more than I expected, especially when I am lifting it onto a table or shifting it around after it has cooled down. It is still a grill, so it gets dirty, but stainless steel is forgiving. I wipe it down, and it does not feel like it is going to stain permanently from normal cooking. One detail I genuinely appreciate is the way the lid can be secured shut. When I am packing up after a cook, I want the lid to stay closed while I am carrying it. I have had portable grills pop open on me before while moving them, and it is annoying at best and messy at worst. With this one, once the lid is secured, it stays put, and I do not have to baby it while walking it back to the car. Setup is straightforward. You connect it to propane, make sure everything is seated correctly, and then you are basically ready to cook. I have mostly used it with a standard propane tank because that is easiest for longer cooking sessions. I did also test it with a smaller propane bottle using the right hose setup, and it worked fine for shorter cooks. The main thing is that you want a stable surface, and you want to be mindful of hose routing, so nothing is pulling or kinking when you move the grill. Ignition is electronic, and it has been reliable for me. I turn the control, start the ignition, and it lights without drama. That might sound like a small thing, but if you have owned a grill that takes multiple tries, you know how quickly that gets old. The control gives me usable range from lower heat for slower cooking to higher heat for searing. I do not treat it like a precision instrument, but I can get it where I want it without guessing too much. Inside, the stainless steel continues, which makes cleanup easier than on grills that have painted surfaces or rough interiors that trap grease. The grate is a V-shaped design, and in real use it helps with flare-ups. I'm not saying you will never see a flare, because fatty food can still drip and ignite on any grill, but I have had fewer sudden flare-ups here compared to some basic portable grills. That means I am spending less time moving food around just to keep it from scorching. Cooking space is enough for what this grill is meant to do. I have cooked about 6 standard burger patties at once without them feeling crowded. I have done a couple of steaks side by side and still had room to work. For me, this grill hits that sweet spot where it is portable but not so tiny that you can only cook for one person. It is still a small grill, though, so if you are trying to cook for a big group, you are going to be doing batches. I also want to talk about how it behaves on uneven surfaces, because that is where portable grills usually get annoying. The legs adjust, and I have used that more than I expected. On a slightly sloped campsite table, I was able to level it enough that grease did not pool in a weird corner. In the backyard, I sometimes set it on a folding table, and being able to fine-tune the stance helps it feel stable instead of wobbly. It is not something you think about until you have a hot grill shifting around when you are trying to flip food. In terms of real cooking, I ran a few repeat scenarios. Burgers were the easiest test. I started with medium heat to get them cooking evenly, then bumped the heat up near the end to tighten up the outside. The grill got me good browning without drying them out as long as I paid attention to timing. Hot dogs were simple, and they did not split and burn as quickly as they do on some grills that have harsh hot spots. Chicken thighs were a better test because of fat and flare-ups, and that is where the grate design helped. I still kept an eye on it, but I was not fighting constant flare-ups. Steak is where I cared most about heat. I let the grill preheat until it felt ready, then put the steaks on and left them alone long enough to sear. The sear came in faster than I expected for a portable grill. The heat felt even across the main part of the cooking surface, and I did not end up with that pattern where one side is done and the other side is still pale. I did notice that, like most small grills, the edges can run a little cooler than the center, so I used the center area for searing and the outer area for gentler cooking or holding food for a minute. One limitation I have run into is that because it is compact, you have to be a little more intentional about grease and cleanup. If I cook something very fatty, I try not to let it go too long without checking the interior. Not because the grill cannot handle it, but because any portable grill can get messy fast if you do not keep up. After cooking, I let it cool, then I brush the grate and wipe down the interior surfaces. The stainless steel makes that routine easier, but you still have to do the routine. Another small thing is that wind can affect any propane grill, and this one is no exception. It does a decent job, but if you are cooking in heavy wind, you are going to notice heat loss and longer cook times. When I used it outdoors on a breezy day, I positioned it so the lid opening was not catching the wind directly, and that helped. I also want to address something that some people ask about: smart features and a mobile app. This grill does not have a mobile app, and it does not try to connect to your phone. Personally, I am fine with that. When I am grilling, I am usually right there next to it anyway. What matters more to me is consistent ignition, stable heat, and a build that holds up to being moved around, and that is where this grill spends its effort. So overall, after using it regularly, I see the SOL-EV17A as a practical portable grill that feels sturdy, heats fast, and cooks evenly for its size. The parts that stand out in everyday use are the secure lid for transport, the reliable ignition, the adjustable legs for stability, and the way the infrared heat helps it recover when you load it with cold food. The trade-offs are the same ones you get with most portable grills. You have limited space, you have to stay on top of grease if you cook very fatty food, and you have to be mindful of wind. If you have been looking for a portable propane grill that you can actually carry around without it feeling delicate, and you want something that gets hot quickly and cooks predictably, this one has made my cooking simpler in the situations I bought it for. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with what you want me to test on this grill next. Thank you for watching.